Okay guys, let's have a little fun here. So I'm going to show you basically how I create my charts, basically starting out with a parallel channel and then using a fib channel to build onto that structure to find points to long and short. And when I show you this, you'll be amazed at how well price action respects this. So I'm going to cover this as well as a few other things, guys. If you want to sign up for Coincatch, the link's pinned in the first comment and description. It's no KYC. If you use a VPN with no KYC, you can use that to your advantage. If you want to learn how to trade on Coincatch, a tutorial video I put up showing you how to create your account, transfer funds into your account, transfer funds to your futures account to trade with, and how to use the tools to trade with. I'll put in this video now if you want to check it out. The last 3 videos I put up, guys, well, the last 4 videos 2 weeks ago, I told you where I was going to short and timing. And I shorted what was 108,500. We dropped $16,000 from that point. In the last video I put up 9 days ago, I told you to long 92K. We pushed up about $8,000 from that point. So the charts have been accurate. If you played those, you should have done well. Right now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, 93,000 around that area is our current key support. In Discord, I was showing everyone where to short the point we pushed up from 92K. I was showing the pattern we were in, and I was also showing that it looked like that the central Bollinger Band on the daily was a point to short, and I was making that very clear here on the 1 hour. Top yellow line, meet of the candles. I was showing the pattern we're in. I said red line above is where the central Bollinger Band is in the daily, roughly. Fib line resistance 98,474. So if you pushed up, this is a point too short. And you can see we pushed up to that point. That was a point too short. We dropped, we hit support, and then I gave the next point too short. Using current fib channel in H1, I created an orange trend line, parallel channel to fib channel, moved it up. So basically all I did was I drew a trend line. I took the time to map out the direction of price. So basically I just drew a line, this orange line here. I drew a line over this point right here, pushed it up to where it matched price action. See, it was support here, resistance here. They gave us your point to short at 97,000. And you can see we hit that point, we got rejected, and we've been coming down ever since. So again, I'm going to show you how I create these charts. Again, just to show you, how you can find these points to long and short. But most importantly, I did mention in the thumbnail and the title, when you discussed the orange elephant in the room, I know a lot of you thought I was talking about Trump. No, I'm talking about a ring and our major support levels. So I'm going to show you how to create this chart, but most importantly, I'm going to show you the difference between limit order and trigger order. So limit order, you can short resistance, you can long support, but you can't short if you break support. That's where trigger order comes in, and that's what I'm going to use for these key levels, as well as that ring, which we're going to discuss in a bit. I'll give you timing for that also. And as you can see, 93K is our current key support, so you should be long from that point. If that breaks and becomes resistance, then we have a lot further down to go. And you can see this is that orange line, that orange trend line we all shorted. You can see it was support, resistance, became resistance again, and we dropped. And you can see we're at our key support now at 93K. So let me show you this really quick, and then we'll cover the charts and give you your price label, or your key levels to play. So basically, it's just a fib channel, guys. So the second tool down, this is Coincatch, but using TradingView. Again, if you want to sign up for Coincatch, that link's pinned in the first comment description. Create an account, just go in here and just start playing around. There's no wrong way to do this. Once you find it, you'll know. But you can clearly see how well price is respecting this parallel channel. So what I'm going to do, by the way, parallel channels is the second tool down. It's right here, parallel channel. Like so. If you want to, you can delete stuff. You can just click on it and hit delete. But if you want to undo, it's Control Z. Comes in pretty handy. So the third tool down, we're going to use fib channel. So since it looks to me like price is respecting this parallel channel pretty well, I'm going to use this to start my structure. All right. So I'm going to start right here. And I have this on extended, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down. Let me turn off extended. And you want to try to get this as close as possible. Now, the reason I say this is because as price moves along, if you don't get this accurate, it's going to be off, as time goes on. So the more accurate it is, the better. As accurate as you can get it. So now I'm going to pull this down. Let's see here. I want to get it to where price looks like it's matching it. And it looks like price matches pretty well right there. So let me bring this up a bit. So actually, So notice I get that green line right at the bottom of the channel. And you see price seems to be respecting that pretty well. Now the next part, so you want to add to it. So you can see that this is our support. You got a lot of resistance right up here. Perfect resistance. And it doesn't look like price is respecting it, but once you add on to the chart, you'll see how well it is. What we can do is we can do extend left. And you can see how well price is respecting it going back. So you got perfect support here, support resistance, the perfect support right here. So you know that price is respecting this fib channel, and that's how you verify it, by extending it to the left and seeing how price is respecting it. So now let's add another fib channel here. So I'm going to go fib channel, and from this point, let's see, let's start from this point right here. And bring this down to where it matches. All right, if you'll notice, you see that orange line is matching that gray line, and I get this gray line right on the blue line. So that's how we know it's perfectly matching. And if you go back, you can see how well price is respecting it. And this is what I was talking about. You want to get as close as possible. You can see how it's starting to diverge right here. So that's why you need to take your time and try to get them as accurate as possible. And that would be right here. You want to get that right on it, almost where it turns gray. So this right here, this gives us points to pay attention to. So if we know, we know if we drop, a key support level is going to be around 92,600, around that area. Not to mention that's a wick we had right here. But what we can do is now we can create a fib channel between these 2 points. So we can go right here, bring it down just to this point here, and now we can look at this on, let's go down to, this is the 1 hour, let's go to the 15-minute, and now look how well price is respecting this. So we drop down, we got perfect support right here at 93,000, roughly 93,994. We dropped down, found perfect support at 93,664. So I mean, this gives you levels to play right here. So we found support 93,600 around that area. We got rejected at 94,000. So we know that if we drop, next point to scalp along is around 93,300. Next key support level below that is around 92,800. And keep in mind, guys, 93,000, 92,800, that is a very critical support level. If that breaks and becomes resistance, we have a lot more downside. But I just want to show you this technique. Again, it's fun to mess around with, just to see what you can come up with. But again, when you do create these structures, you want to have everything match. So in other words, when you add these fib channels, you want to make sure, go to the 30-minute, you want to make sure when you create a fib channel based on a previous fib channel that all the lines match. And then you can actually just go between, again, I'm just going between the channel, right between it, and then it gives you your key levels on a smaller time frame. So again, that's just the technique I use to create these charts. I have more in-depth tutorials showing you more stuff like how to create channels in opposite directions or in multiple directions, so you have more points to long and short, as well as how to add fib circles based on these channels. But I just want to show you this technique. Again, it's fun to play around with. But let me discuss limit order. So here's the thing. So let me go ahead and just get rid of this. So if you want to do a limit order, now here's the deal. So if we go under limit, I've got limit selected right now. And let's say I want to, and again, limit order means you can short a resistance level. So if we push up to 95,162, you could do a limit order. So it would trigger here, set your stop above. So if it pushes above, you get stopped out. If not, it would open. And then your limit order for a short, it would come down, you'd be in profit. If you do a limit long, price would come down, you would open, a limit long. So if it hits this price, it would trigger. And you set your stop loss below. So if it drops below that point, you get stopped out. Otherwise, if it pushes up, you're in profit. But what you cannot do is if, let's say, if we break the support, you want to enter a short, you can't use limit. So what I use is trigger. So let me show you how this works. So if I try to do limit order, a lot of you know this, I just want to show you how this works. So let's say that I want to make it to where if we push above, and I apologize for running long, guys, but I do want to explain how you can use this to your advantage. So this is a very key level here, 95,200. So if I want to use a limit and say, okay, well, if we push above 95,188, I want to go long. Well, you can't do that. And this is across all exchanges. So we would go price under limit 95,188. So that would be the price. Cost, let's just say $1,000. And then you go to take profit stop loss. By the way, guys, if you click on advanced, you can come over here and you can choose P&L. And then if you put in your trigger price for your stop loss and for your take profit, it will show you how much you will make and how much you will lose if you hit your take profit or your stop loss. You need to choose which one you're doing, buy long or sell short, but a very useful tool to see how much you can make or lose. And notice we're getting rejected at that point right there. So again, we have 95,000. Let me see, make sure I got this right. So 95,188, 95,188. So we're going to do take profit. So I want to take profit up here at 96,548. So take profit 96,548. And stop loss, well, if we push above this point and I'm in profit, well, I want my stop to be below here. So this would be my stop loss, 96,359. 96,359. And if I do sell short, it won't let me do it because limit orders only allow you to short resistance or long support. So this is where trigger order comes in. So let me get rid of this. Actually, we'll leave that right there. So where it says post only, we click on trigger. Now we can actually set it up to where if we push above a certain point, it'll trigger along. So you do trigger price. So if we push above, so if we push above this point, 95,179, so 95,188. Okay, so that's the trigger price. So if it hits this point, it will open along, right? And what I want to do is set my stop loss. So if it pushes above this point, I will be in profit. If it comes back down to this price right here, I want to get stopped out. So that'd be 95,000. Actually, execute price. I'm gonna do market order. Market order means it's guaranteed to trigger. If you use marker limit, it won't. If price moves too quick, it won't. Market order will try its best to be as close to that point. So if it moves really fast, it might be off by a bit, but it will trigger. That's why I like to use market order. Cost value, we'll put $1,000 into this trade. Basically, I'm just showing you how trigger order works, and you can use this to your advantage. Okay, so now under take profit stop loss, so my trigger long will take place at 95,188. Okay, so take profit, I want to be up here at 96,548. So 96,548. Stop loss, well, if we push above this point, I'm in profit. If we drop back down, I'm going to get stopped out. So we'll just put 95,000. And now we can do buy long. And you'll see what happens. It asks you to confirm. Trigger price 95,188. That's a market price. That means it will trigger. And then it shows you your take profit and stop loss. Hit confirm. Now, if price pushes up, all right, it hits this point, it's going to trigger my long. If it pushes up to this point, I will get stopped out. Well, actually, if it pushes up to this point, I will take profit. And if it drops back to this point right here, then I will get stopped out. But this is a way, if price pushes above a point, because that's a lot of times what it'll do is it'll just chop, you'll just get this candle go straight up. Well, this is how you enter a long when you push above a resistance level. The same goes for a short, so I can close this. If you want to do a short, and this, I'm probably going to do both of these with that orange ring. So same thing, guys, if you want to do a short, all right, so if we drop below, we know that 93,000, 92,800 is a key level. So let's say if we break this point, we want to go short, all right? So same thing, trigger price. let's do a horizontal line so we know what we're talking about, where we're at. So 92,800. So if we hit that point, we want to actually just below that, we want to trigger. So we'll do 92,743. So trigger price, 92,743. 92,743. Hold on. 92,743 will be the trigger price. We're going to do market, cost values, put $1,000 into this. And you could do multiple. So you could have it where you have a trigger and a stop, and you could have another one below. If this one gets stopped out, then the next one would trigger. So you can have trigger orders above, below, just, just be, go to sleep, wake up in the morning, see if it played out or if it didn't. So again, we have a trigger price set up 92,743 if you drop below this point, because this is key level. We know if you break that, we can have a major drop, but we want to protect ourselves just in case it pushes back up. So now we want to put a stop loss. So we're going to click take profit stop loss. So let's do a line here. So if we push up our stop loss, let's put it above this point. So let's just say 93,000. Stop loss 93,000. And then take profit, well, however far you think it might go. So it could go all the way down to, what, 90,000 or lower. So our take profit will be, let's just put 90,000. And if we do sell short, again, under trigger order, we have our price we're going to enter, 92,743. We do sell short, hit confirm. So now if price drops below or hits to this point, it's going to trigger your short. Your take profits down here. If we push up to this point, you get stopped out. So again, if use limit order if you want a short resistance or if you want a long support. You can use trigger order to do the same thing, but you can also use it to trigger a long if you get above resistance and trigger a short if you drop below support. So that's why I use trigger order, plus you can use market, which means it's guaranteed to trigger. So I hope that shows you just some ways you can play this. And again, I'm going to show you that I'm going to do this exact same thing at that ring. And I apologize this ran so long. I just want to show you that tool and how you can use it to your advantage, and this technique to find points to long and short. That's a lot of talking there. Okay, so let's move on, guys. So really quick, let's cover your hourly support and resistance levels. This is the H1 chart. So your current support right now, again, this back when I told you long around 92K, that was this line. Notice we stayed above this line. We're testing it now, critical support. So I'd be long above 93,325. Your next key resistance level above, well, you can see that this yellow line right here is our trend line resistance. It's just a trend line, guys. So we can push above, we can get rejected at it. But again, that's roughly, we still have this channel we broke down from. So that's 94,600. You get above that, still pay attention to the top of this channel and this trend line. That's roughly around 95,421, but your next your fib line, and if we get up to this point, I expect we'll go higher because we'll be breaking above this trend line that's been resistance, going all the way back up here where we topped out around 108,400. So again, pay attention to this line. If you do get above this point, 95,445, then you're bullish up to 96,000. We get above that. Your next key resistance level just above is around 97,700. And your most critical resistance is going to be, again, the central Bollinger Band on the daily, which we'll cover in just a bit. Your next key support level below 93K is down around 90,800. Again, if we hit that point though, guys, that means 93K is going to be resistance, which in my opinion will be very, very bearish. All right, let's move on to this chart. So this is the macro top and bottom chart. You can get access to these live charts on my website, guys. By the way, the website's opticrypto.com. If you do sign up, make sure you email me through the contact page, and I'll verify you have an account, and then I'll send you a Discord invite link. So this is the ring, guys. So now you can see this ring is at a curve. So the lower we go, the closer we get to the ring. The further out, or the further up we go, the further we are from the ring. This is on the weekly. I would also like to point out, you can see right here, you can see that MACD is way overextended, and you can see the RSI is starting to angle down. So again, the weekly looks bearish. You can see already broke down from this pattern. This is where we topped out at 108,000. You can see we broke down from that pattern right here. This is now resistance. So I'd pay attention to the central Bollinger Band of the daily we'll cover in just a bit. The daily, we could get some chop, but the weekly looks like we're in a downtrend. So while we could chop up and down, I think overall we're probably headed down to this next major support level. Now let me show you this on a separate chart just so you can see what I'm talking about with this ring and how I'm going to play it. So I showed you how you can use trigger order to trigger a long above resistance and trigger a short below support. So I'm going to take this ring and copy it, paste it into a blank chart. We'll come back to the D1 in just a sec, guys. So this is that orange ring I was talking about, and you can see this is why, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to get a major dump or a pump. That's why I'm probably going to have a trigger long and a trigger short, but we know something major is going to happen at that ring. We know that we topped out at this ring. I caught a top many videos back when we hit this ring. This ring became support. We broke it. We had to drop to the next ring. Became resistance. We had a drop. No season moved sideways. We made contact with the ring. We pushed up. We broke it as resistance, pushed up, hit it as resistance. Then we moved sideways and we pushed up. So we don't know what's going to happen, guys. When we broke this ring, we had a drop. This ring, it was resistance. This ring, we kind of had a drop, tested resistance, had another drop. This one, we rode up the ring. So we could push up it, we could drop. I just know a major move is going to happen when we make contact with this ring. Again, we don't know direction. If we stay pretty high, it would make sense we'd get a drop. If we're down lower, maybe we'll push up it, cross it, make contact, come down. I don't know. I just know that we'll get a big move at this point. At current price, and this is on the weekly. Let me go to the daily here. Actually, this is on the daily. Okay. So let me show you how far we are from this ring right now. And you can see how well respected this ring. We hit this resistance, kind of went sideways. So current price action, we are roughly 95 days from this ring. And again, that's at current price action. Let's say price is down around 69,000, then we will be about 79 days from that ring. But again, I think the big move, I think we're going to be in some kind of pattern, just like we formed this pattern right here, something like this. I think we're going to form some kind of pattern, and it could be anything, guys. We'll have to find out what pattern it is. It could be something like this. You know, we'll be in a channel like this, or it could be a channel that's kind of up, kind of. And we'll have to see how it plays out. This could play out as head and shoulders and we drop to support. All I'm saying is, regardless, when we make contact with this ring, I think I'm going to have a trigger long and a trigger short. So if we cross this ring and we get a major drop, well, it's going to trigger my short. I'll be in profit. If we hit this ring and we push up, it'll trigger my long, and then I will be in profit. So again, we don't know the direction. I do think it's more likely when we cross this ring, we'll get a major drop, but again, we don't know. We just know that's a point where a major move will happen. Now, I can give you key levels to pay attention to. So if we zoom out and we go back to this chart, let me grab these. So this right here, this is your first most critical support level. Let me move this over here. So again, that is your first critical support level. You can see how well price respected this. Actually, I can pull this back to here. You can see that it was a resistance, support, right? We broke it, had a drop. It was support. It was we broke it, had a drop. It was resistance, became support. Support, broke it, had a drop. Pushed back above. It was support. We broke it. It was resistance. All right, it was resistance right here. Pushed above it, held a support. Came below it as resistance. We're above it now. So we know that is our first key, most critical support level. Your next one would be this orange trend line here. Paste this in, and that is just below. So we have a lot of support, guys. But what I'm saying is, if we break below the support levels, we have a lot of downside. And I think what's going to happen is we're probably just going to chop and move sideways. And that big move, whether it's to the upside or the downside, will happen at this ring. And keep in mind, we have a lot of liquidity below us, but it's going to take a lot of selling pressure to break that point. And I do have one more. Let's see this red one right here. So these are your most critical support levels. Let me give you those right now. And remember, guys, we have a gap around, I think it's 77,000, something like that. So your first most critical support level, keep in mind this is an upward angle, right? Higher, the further out, the higher this is, but kind of roughly If we just went down and sideways, you're looking at about 83,000, right? If that breaks, your next most critical support level to pay attention to, as I said, I'm bullish above this orange trend line I've been talking about for quite a while. If that becomes resistance, then I start getting bearish, and that also means we'll have filled that gap. But 74,000 needs to hold for me to be bullish. Again, if 74,000 becomes resistance, then I'm starting to get bearish, and I'm pretty sure we cross this ring, we will get a major drop. Below that point, your next major key support level is right around 63,000, around that area. But do keep in mind, guys, if we push up, you know, we're about, come on, hold on. So again, where current price is now, we're about 95 days to make contact. We could hit it and push up. We could cross it and drop. You know, if price is down, you know, down around 74K, then we would be about 80 days away from it. So again, the further down we go, the closer we get to the ring. But do expect a big move at that ring. Again, every time we hit one of these rings, it's caused price to have a major move. When we crossed it at this point, it was a major drop to the next ring. This one we rode up it, so again, we'll have to see what happens when we cross that ring, but I would pay attention because some big move is going to happen there. Now this, I did skip this one, guys. Just want to give you key levels, why this is a key level right here. As I said, the top Bollinger Band on the center Bollinger Band on the daily is your next key resistance level to pay attention to. That is currently right around 98,000, and your current key support is right at 92,800. So that would be the point to watch, and that is in confluence with the H1 chart. That's what I'm saying. Stay long above 93,300, maybe 92,800. So 92,800, 93,000, stay long above that point. If that becomes resistance, then I think we're probably headed down to test that first key support level. I was talking about this yellow macro trend line, and that's around 82,500. So again, if 92,800, 93,000 becomes resistance, all right, then we're probably just going to start coming down and bouncing off these key levels. So if this becomes resistance, this is your next support level to potentially long, and that price target is, let me make this green. So as long as we're above it, stay long, but if that breaks, your next key support level is around 90,000. These are all going to be levels you can play, but your most critical level below is 82,000. Like I said, if that breaks, then we're coming down to fill that gap around 73,000. But we're roughly 90 days away from that ring. I will keep you guys updated. I would play around, guys, with this this technique to create charts. It is a great way to find key support resistance levels. You see, I'm just watching it play out. We found support, we pushed up, and again we found support right here, 93,670. So we know our next resistance is going to be 94,000. Resistance above that, 94,500, and so on and so forth. But remember, your most key support level is 93,000 and 92,800. But again, using trigger orders is a great way to enter if we drop below support, or to enter if we break above resistance. And that is how I'm playing that ring, and that's also how I'm going to play this level here. So probably what I'm going to do is have a trigger short. If we drop below this point, below, let's say 92,000, I don't know, maybe 92,700. If we drop to that point, it'll open a trigger short. I'll have my stop loss above this resistance. So if it pushes back up, I'll get stopped out. And if we continue down, I'll continue to be in profit. But just want to share that with you guys. Sorry this ran so long. I just want to share those techniques. Again, if you want to sign up for Coincatch, that link is pinned in the first comment description. And they have, it's just like TradingView, guys. You can go in there and chart, have a lot of fun. They have demo mode. You can, I think they give you 3,000 USDT to trade with. You can just practice until you get comfortable with it and then start trading with real money. Again, if you sign up, that link's pinned in the first comment description. And do check out this tutorial video. I will update one, or make one soon with the new updated features. But for now, if you want to check this out, this will be pinned in the first comment description as well. That's it, guys. Till the next video. Stay safe, stay smart.